Let me first show you an overview of the workflow. We have an account in Zuora for a company called Acme Inc. They have a couple of subscriptions to our light user product and have fallen behind on their payments. As a result, we need to suspend the account for non-pay. To manage these situations, we've set up a notification on the account when invoices are past due. The notification executes a workflow to perform the suspension. This is the workflow we're going to execute. You can see that the workflow loads the subscriptions for the account. The workflow then grabs each subscription from the list and applies an amendment to cancel each active subscription. Once we've gone through the entire list, the workflow amends the account and applies the changes. To simulate the account going past due, I'm going to use Postman to send over the cancellation callout. You can see that the request has been successfully executed. Clearly, this would all be happening behind the scenes, and this task would normally be initiated by Zuora. And now you can see the Acme Inc. account has changed to suspended for non-pay, and the subscriptions have been canceled. Now I'll show you the execution of the workflow in more detail. This account has been reset, and there are currently no situations, and here are the active accounts. As before, I'm going to execute the workflow. However, this time I'm going to step through it so you can see each part of the workflow executing. This is helpful when you're debugging your workflows. It will also give you a sense of what's happening behind the scenes. Back in Postman, this time I'm going to run the flow in debug mode by adding Debug Step through to the URL. This tells ManyWho to wait each step so we can step through it element by element. The state identifier is a unique identifier for our instance of the workflow. I can add this to the URL to join our workflow using the browser-based debug tool. You can now see we've joined the workflow, and we can see the values stored in the workflow. The pre-committed values are changes that will be applied. The committed values are changes that have taken place. As we continue through the workflow, you can see each step is being executed. At this stage, the workflow will have canceled one of the subscriptions in the list. Let's have a quick look back at Zuora. You can see the workflow has now correctly canceled this subscription. Let's go back to the workflow again. We'll just keep stepping through the workflow. You can see the workflow is now applying the suspension for non-pay and saving the change back to Zuora. And finally, we're done. You can see that all of the subscriptions have been canceled. Hopefully this gives you a sense of how you can not only build workflows, but also test them before activating any changes. ManyWho, drag, drop, and don't stop.